One of the reasons that people come to me is because they have a big decision to make. Now, in this reading, Barbara came to me because she had a big business opportunity coming up. It was going to be a significant financial investment, and she wanted more information on what to do, whether or not to take this business opportunity. What I do as a psychic reader, I tune into what is her higher self or her spirit guides, what is the energy around the situation, and show to her another way of looking at the situation or an alternative perspective. And for the client, you or her, the benefit is it broadens your perspective and helps you see a bigger picture, more of the view of the situation. However, even when people come to me for help with decision making, ultimately, the decision is yours to make, as is all the benefits and responsibilities, good things, events and effects that will come from this decision. My job is to help you to get more information about what is the energy of the situation, what is the energy of you bringing to this, and what does your highest good have to say about this situation. In this reading, I would love to hear, feel free to share in the comments below, what would you do in this situation? Let's get right into the reading. Any questions that you want to bring to the table, or do you want to wait? Sometimes when I'm working with people, after we do the guided meditation, they say, this is actually what I really want to talk about. You can wait, or you can share with me now if you wish.
I have a decision to make, so I wanted to kind of see if I was going to make the right decision or help me make that decision.
Yes, great. Are there any details that you can give me about this decision?
Sure. It's a business program. It's not really a coaching program. It's more of like a business in a box for copywriting, email marketing. And it's a 10-week program. It's pretty intense. And it's expensive. You know, that whole thing, you don't want to spend money and not. I think the content, and it is robust. I do know the person who's putting on. I had conversations with them. But again, it is expensive. I have my daughter's wedding this year. We have like a bunch of other things that are happening. Even though I try to separate the business from personal, it's always smushes together.
Right. Because you're making money in your business for your life.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Congratulations on the upcoming wedding this year. That is so wonderful.
Yeah, we're excited. It's going to be in Greece in September.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 35 years ago. So it's going to be all new for me again.
Woo! Oh, I'm getting tingles. So I get tingles sometimes when people are saying important things, truths, exciting things. I'm thinking of that movie Mamma Mia too, because I think a wedding takes place in the movie, right?
Yeah. The daughters get married and they don't know who the father is. Like she's trying to figure out who the father is. I rented this gorgeous villa that the wedding's going to be at, and it's got 5 bedrooms and it's view of the ocean, and it's going to be pretty spectacular.
Wow. I keep on getting good chills every time you talk about this. I feel like this is going to be the experience of a lifetime.
Oh, good. Yeah. I think it's going to be actually less expensive than if she had like a big old wedding. I'm helping plan it. So I've said, I'm the maid of honor, mother of the bride, wedding coordinator. But I love it.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. One other question about the business decision. Is it to train you to be a copywriter so you can go out and be a copywriter?
It's more about, it's called a one-person agency.
Oh.
So it's really putting the structure together for the agency. So it's more of the back end of the business, not so much the writing, which for me, it's like stuff that I would have to create eventually, you know. And I'm like, why reinvent the wheel? So that's kind of my logic behind it. I think it would set me up as more professional business than I am now.
All right. And anything about your business that you have now that you want to share, get off your chest, say, like, is there a reason this is drawing you in and feels like the next logical step?
Yeah, I think I've been playing it small. So that I just feel like I've been playing small in that end, and I could definitely have more clients.
Sounds good. I'm going to close my eyes you do not have to close yours. So I will open them if I'm writing something down or to tune in, just to prepare you that periodically for the rest of this, I might close my eyes for a few minutes and see what else comes up. Taking in a deep breath through your nose, calling in any and all seen and unseen guides and wisdom and angels and helpers and all of those beings that really love and support Barbara 100% wholeheartedly and want her life to be feeling nurtured and joyful and safe and secure and having lots of financial resources, so that if maybe enough money flowing through that every 5 years we do another Greece trip again. And that's what she says. And it starts happening because it's such a great experience for the whole family. Okay, I'm getting all the energy again flowing. And maybe when you're in Greece, things are going to happen to open you up to even more possibilities for your life that you have not even foreseen. I'm getting all kinds of chills and energy flowing. So yes, a lot of gratitude and appreciation and respect for you for planning this trip. I don't know if it was your idea or your daughter's, but you have been supporting it, and your happiness and important aspects of your future seem to also be connected to this whole Greece exploration and wedding. And the fact that I'm using this word exploration, if there is the possibility to do, I don't know if day trip is the right word, but something while you're there that feels like you're getting to go a little bit deeper into the experience of being there, that seems like it could really be supportive. If it's a day at sea with the family after the ceremony or something like that, there's the sense of, in addition to the wedding itself and whatever ideas or people you meet, I don't know if it's going to be people that you meet or new ideas coming to you, but it just feels like this is the opening point and an awakening for lots of juicy, new, exciting things that one of the ways I can say this right now is it almost feels like a returning to your youth of the energy and excitement. Did you have, when you were younger, I know you said you went there 25 years ago, but as a young person, were you like this, like vivacious go-getter, doing, I don't know, just like seizing opportunities?
I packed around the world for a year.
Oh, wow. Yes. So
I was, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm feeling so much that, not that you're going to do what you did then, but that same energy. And I'm assuming that was an exciting time, an exhilarating time. It feels like this is like, oh yeah, round 2 of the exhilaration coming back in and all of that excitement.
Yeah. I'm writing a book about it right now.
Oh, about when you were younger doing these travels?
Yeah, I kept journals the whole time. And so it's been on my bucket list. I finally put them in the computer and I finally started writing them. But I went to 20 countries, so it's going to take a while. But I'm actually writing New Zealand right now. And the reason I went and did this was I escaped a nasty marriage from an abusive husband. And so I say I was going to try to find myself. But, once I got out there and realized that the world was not such a big, scary place, it was a beautiful place. Then it became more of an adventure. And, I wasn't as sad.
Yes. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm so excited to hear about this book too. That sounds really good. Okay. And I know you want me to ask about the business program too. So I am getting to that. I have to follow where things go when it's coming. So
Perfect.
I'm going to tune in and see if there's anything else I have to say about Greece. I don't remember if you said, do you have a partner?
Yeah.
And could either of you work from anywhere if you chose, or is he location dependent for his work?
He's location dependent, but I'm not. But
okay. Okay.
That doesn't work, does it?
No. I just wanted to know, I don't know, in case, who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tune in some more and see what else is coming through. I know this isn't about him, but does he want to be location independent, or does he think about doing things like you're doing? Does he look at you and he's like, oh, I want to do that? Or is he perfectly happy in his own camp, doing his own thing?
He's never been an entrepreneur, but he's super good at his job. He sells trucks for Caterpillar. And so I always have told him, you could do this on your own, make gazillions, but he's been with the same company 30-something years. So now I've positioned it more with him. So when you retire, you're not going to be like doing nothing. So let's just look at this as you'll be a consultant in the trucking industry.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, so I think that kind of gives him, because he loves his job, he loves the people he works with, but he's been doing it for 30-something years. So I'm sure he's tired.
Yes.
Yeah. And one reason I want to be more successful is that if he wants to retire earlier,
right,
I can kind of pick up the slack.
Yes. And because I wonder if what I'm sensing is like, if that is the case, that's also this excitement and energy fueling you, and I'm just going to go where this is going, because what if you get to Greece and you're like, honey, let's just do this travel thing again. If I can work from anywhere, what does it matter? And what if y'all decide to go do that for a year or two? Not that you're going to go to the wedding and then not come back, but
no, I've already said I want to retire in a foreign country.
Oh, great. Okay, good. So I'm glad he's supportive of that too. Okay, cool. I don't know if I said this in the initial email. When we're done, you will get a recording of this. I know that some clients that I meet with, some people, whatever I say, they're like, yes. That's confirmation. That's it. I'm there. Whereas there are two people I've worked with who pretty much what I say is like a counterpoint for them. And when I say something, it's almost a challenge, and they go far in the other direction. And I have no attachment to what happens. I know that from other people who I know who do readings, they also can say sometimes when people respond to something a reader says, don't feel like what I'm receiving means this is the only answer. You're the ultimate authority. Therefore, if I say something that you're like, that doesn't fit, and I really strongly know that, and she makes that so clear how she's wrong, then that's actually still a good thing, because your answer is clear. My ultimate goal is to help bring more clarity and more insight. And if that's by me being like a polar opposite to what the thing is, that's okay. I wanted to say that because I guess there's a part of me that wonders, some of the things I'm starting to receive about the business in a box is that I'm sensing there's a part of you, and I know this is just an expression, business in a box, but I sense that there's a part of you that doesn't want to be boxed in by something. And even though it sounds neat and tidy, it's not that it's going to be a bad move to do it. I just get this sense, will it be everything you wanted and more? Not really. Not that it's bad, but when I compare that to the book or whatever this Greece trip could catalyze, or maybe some other thing that we haven't even touched upon, I almost feel like some of those, there seems to be more energy and excitement about them. However, I understand that logical decisions, there is a way in which they feel comforting to people. My wondering is it might be one of those things, if it's fine for 2 years, let's say, and then you're like, well, that was good and I'm moving on. But it's not, you're going to be pulling people aside on the street. You can't believe this business that I'm doing now with my agency. Whereas I could be wrong, but let's say the book, I could see you pulling people aside on the street and being like, you got to hear about this book. Or from this book, I started this whole leave your marriage, find yourself, travel the world tourism company. I don't even know. I'm just riffing. But so I don't know if it's a book or it's a movement or what, but it does seem like there's more excitement about other areas of life than this. And and I wonder, oh, anything you want to say before I
was going to say, yeah, the book is definitely, my passion, has my heart, and I love to write it. Like I love to write. So that's why I feel that email marketing, I like to write emails over like sales pages because I can tell stories and I'm a storyteller in my writing.
Yes, yes.
And the email marketing is basically what you've probably heard through your whole business life. You got to niche down. You got to niche down. Basically, I was a life coach turned business coach. And because a lot of people that have never owned a business or they don't know how to own a business, I have like all that stuff at the top of my tongue. And I love doing that, who are doing something that matters that I can relate to. I'm originally from the spa industry. And that they're open to my suggestions and they're, they like to collaborate. And
And have you, I know you said you do a retainer, but is there ever the possibility that some of the things you create for her that she'll reuse many times, that there could be like a residual, I don't know, a 1% thing that you get per period of time?
You could do that. And there's like lots of ways to put that package together. That's kind of like that business in the box for the thing. Like that's one part. Like
Okay.
Programs. The way that I've been selling it is like, this is how much. So the retainer is just for the business side, me talking about business. But if I create a sequence, there's a fee for that, depending on how many emails there is. And I always say it's going to be this much, and you can use this forever if you want. So you get a greater ROI on it.
Yes.
So it's a sales technique to say that they're going to have a great ROI. Unless you stop selling this course, because I make them evergreen except for the dates that we just have to change out,
Right. Yes. I love how multi-talented you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the fact that you can bridge this, like you said, she's great at what she does, but the email, not so great. But you know how to get that sweet spot that for her, it's either too far one way or the other. So that's lovely.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say? Because I'm ready to tune in a little more and see if I have any other thoughts.
Okay.
I keep on getting this thing about jump at the chance. I don't know if you use that phrase, or maybe you said if I could get 10 more clients like her. I don't know. I'm getting, okay, let's see. What does this whole jump at the chance thing mean? Okay, sorry. So one thing, and I don't know if it's your spirit guides or whoever, it is someone who's looking out for your highest good. So I'm going to use the term spirit guides, but you fill in whoever you feel like is most comfortable for you. But I'm getting this request that if you would take the amount that you're thinking about spending on the business in a box and let yourself brainstorm and play. And when I use the term brainstorm, this is not serious brainstorming. This is like if you drink, getting drunk with your girlfriends and talking the craziest stuff and doing like drunk brainstorming, where it's like ridiculous but fun. And brainstorm, what if I was going to use that money to sow seeds, not necessarily Facebook ads, but really they want you to get creative about what if I took that money and did something different or a few different things to really spin the wheel, to get this whole thing flowing, I'm getting this sense that whether or not you actually are going to spend, I don't know, I'm just going to use the amount 7,000. I don't know how much it is, but whether or not you're actually going to spend 7,000 and 3,000 goes here and 2 goes here and 1 goes to, you take this client to a spa weekend, and while you're there, you meet somebody else who becomes a client. I don't know if you're actually going to literally do the things that you come up with, but what I'm seeing is taking the opportunity to brainstorm, and I feel like brainstorm doesn't even sound as fun as what it is that you're going to do to come up with these new ideas. That is going to open you up to see how many more possibilities and resources you already have around you that are going to get you even more almost hyper over enthusiastic about what you do, so that, and maybe this is the jumping at the chance, like I feel like it's going to get you so magnetic about what you're doing and what you already do for this woman that other people are going to be like, I want to work with her because she's the one who is so cool because of, I don't know what it is, how they find you and what they see and all that. I sense that the Business in a Box, I'm not knocking that program, obviously. It's quality. It just doesn't feel like if we had, a number 10, like the best choice, it feels like it's somewhere between a 3 and a 6. But I feel that there's a 10 choice out there for you. It's just you haven't thought of it yet, or you haven't discovered it yet. And that this choice, though, is going to be the type of thing that helps you break out of playing it small or playing it safe, in which the Business in a Box program doesn't seem like it's going to break you out of that. Not that you won't grow out of it on your own. Like we said before, you might go to Greece and be like, that's it. I'm a bikini designer now. I don't know. People need bikinis at the spa or something. I guess you don't always need anything to cover up. It seems like, and I hope this isn't frustrating that I'm saying this idea, keep on going or look for something different. I don't know that it's a go out and look for it. It really feels like if you have any buddies who you like to get silly with or get goofy crazy, maybe it's your daughter and your husband. Or maybe it's just something that you can do that's a little bit out of the ordinary, and just play around with the idea, what if I'm going to take this chunk of money and be totally like crazy, not frivolous exactly, but do something with it in my business in a whole new way, or do something with myself and it in a whole new way. It feels like that's going to open you up to seeing so many more possibilities that are not in your view right now.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about, I know I've been going on for a little bit. Tell me how any of this is sitting with you and what you're feeling.
When you first said, like, maybe there'd be a different or better or alternative place to put this money, I immediately went to self-publishing.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I'm getting the chills.
I was like, the book is 100 million times more important than email marketing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've looked into programs, but some of them seem, I'd have to do more research. Some of them seem like they just want your money, and you're never going to really have a book.
Right.
Well enough to.
Right. I have a few ideas. One, after this call, I know 2 book coaches. I don't know if that's your interest, but I think they both do a free consult call, so it might be worth connecting with them. The one definitely helps people self-publish. I don't know about the other one, but I'm also getting this inkling of an idea of emailing the Ravenwood person and asking, do they ever do live Q&A calls? Or here's my background, here's what I do for my business, and here's my book. And I don't know if it's so big that you can't talk to her, but I feel like it might be really nice to talk to somebody on the staff there, because then right away you're seeing, how are they handling this? Are they engaging with you? Are they supportive? And so then you can go ahead and already start to know, yes, I could move forward and explore more, or no, they're not for me because I don't like how they handled, these first few interactions.
Yeah, I did talk to them actually when they first.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I like the gal. She was a nice gal. I guess that for whatever reason, I went with my intuition. I was like, for whatever reason, I just didn't feel it was the right time or the right person. I just,
Right. Yes. Well, maybe, how long ago was that? Was that a while ago?
Yeah, that was probably 6 to 9 months ago. But
okay.
Now I'm going to try to say this without getting upset.
Okay. It's okay if you get upset. I don't mind.
Okay. So the gal that I went around the world with, she's dying of cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like my biggest fan. I'm going to be writing this book because she's reliving her life. And I'm trying to get it done fast as I can. And she actually, which is really weird because she loves the stories because she gets to relive her life. Yeah. We weren't always together. We split up and she went to different countries and then we met up again. But New Zealand is when we were together, just the two of us. And I'm having a really hard time writing it because I don't want to, I told myself I wouldn't censor.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that I'm censoring because I can't write truthfully in some sex. And it's not bad things. It's just like sometimes when she pissed me off and, you're with somebody 24/7.
Yeah, and, exactly.
And I didn't really know her that well. I met her at a triathlon. She's a friend of my brother's, at that time, girlfriend. And it was just, she said she was going around the world. I'm like, I want to go around the world. I just got out of a messy divorce. And she goes, most people don't have money. And I go, I have the house we're splitting. She said, most people don't have time. I go, I will quit my job. And so within 2 months, I was going around the world with Beth, who I just met once.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, so she did something really interesting. So she has a daughter that's not married. So she signed up for this thing called Wingman. It's like your family helps you find a spouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they loved her story so much because of the whole, her dying of cancer. She wanted to make sure her daughter had someone wonderful before she passed. And they decided to put a billboard in Times Square with Molly's picture on it about looking for a husband.
Oh my gosh.
So they ended up on People magazine because of this.
Wow.
And all publicity. And so then they just talked to her about writing a book. And she wrote to me, she goes, oh my God, they think I should write a book. I'm like, everybody should write a book.
Yeah.
Of course you should write a book, And she's like, oh my God, they're going to get me an editor. She goes, maybe a ghostwriter, because she goes, I can't write. I'm like, once you get going, you'll be fine. Yeah. So this is all transpired. Then she just wrote to me, she goes, I know what we should do. We'll piggyback our books together. Like at the end of your book. She's like, at the end of my book, I'm going to talk about like how we travel together, and then you can go read Barbara's book, and then you can. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. I go, but hers is like going like really fast because she's got all this help. I go, I've got like another year out to be done if I want to make it one big, huge, 100,000 word book. I think I want to make it series. Like I wrote China. I've written Australia, not completed, but mostly. I've written some other countries. So I think it's going to be series based on the countries and do it that way, because otherwise it's a huge project to get through. And I'm trying to get through New Zealand for her because that's when we were together. But I stalled. I haven't written like in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And do you think, does she know that there's a part of you that's like, oh, what if I write and make her sound bad because I just knew her, and like you said, we're together all the time. Like, do you think if she knew that that's slowing you down, what would she say?
I already said, like, if I can have you read it before it goes out, because it goes out to just my small email list that's like my family and stuff for the book. She's like, "I write whatever you want. That was so long ago, I don't care." So, but I don't, and then I'm like, I don't know if I'm like talented enough to write it in a way that like, you can see there was a conflict, but you know that they love each other, and it's just women, stuff.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing I know about writing, because I am a writer as well. It's really easy to get bogged down in how am I going to make this happen when there's not even words on the page to work with. I always know, and I don't know if this is true for you too, but once the first draft is out and the words are all there, I can add foreshadowing, move this, edit that. So your beta readers will help you to know, yeah, I can tell they really care about each other, but man, so-and-so, can you believe she was like that at the bar or at the restaurant or whatever? Or they're going to say, I don't know, it feels like I can't tell if you like each other or you're frenemies. I think your beta readers will give you feedback. So maybe just try and get it out as honest as you can.
Well, I have 10 pages of my journal. I mean, I have 10 pages. It's like some of it's not worthy to be in a book. 8 usually that day on a run. So I'm trying to find the beats in the chapter that are the most important. Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I talked to my husband about it, and he said, "Why don't you not worry about that it's perfect, and just write it? And if it's boring, who cares?
Right.
It's you and Beth's time. If it's boring to us who didn't go on the trip, because most of the chapters that I've written, like China, was very exciting because I had a couple of incidents that happened, like I was in a room full of rats at night, like,
oh my god,
and then I was on a plane that almost, like everybody's praying on the plane. I think there's like things where I had good, and then I had some guy that was like, I couldn't get rid of. He was just an asshole.
Goodness. Yeah.
And then had dinner with a Chinese man and his family, but we had to hide to get into his house because foreigners weren't allowed to go into the house. That he couldn't come into the hotel. Yeah, it was 1984, so it's like, what's that, 40 years?
Yeah.
So, and I got lost in the outback for 2 days in Australia. So that was like that beat on that.
Oh my gosh.
So with New Zealand, it's like, we did have some fun things. And I actually I had a Zoom call with her the other day just because I figured her memory would be different than mine. There were things that came up that I didn't remember. And so when we went there, here's another like ironic thing. We both said, this is so beautiful, we should live here. And she ended up moving there and living there for like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she moved back. She's recently moved back to Massachusetts, where I'm originally from, because of the cancer.
Right. Mm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, I think I'll do what my husband suggested. It's just write it, and it's not like I'm sending it to an editor. I'm not sending it to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. And you'll get it out, and then you can work with it. And maybe you hire an editor to help you make it better. You envision it, like you say, with the friendship and all the conflicts that are kind of, it makes me think of a rom-com, but not a rom-com because it's two girlfriends hanging out, having adventures. Have you written up the beginning chapter of how it all began? Because that's a great chapter too.
Yeah, so what I've done, I've weaved in like the marriage and divorce, and being like, the night I left, that he was beating me, and I ran out the back door and went to my girlfriend's house, and standing outside in the dark and the snow for hours because I was so embarrassed to knock on her door. So I've weaved that in, and I weave that in. So the book is about, transformation for someone like myself, and that if someone's ever in that situation, I want them to be moved to know that they can get out and that their life will change.
Yeah.
So I do weave that in throughout the book, because what happens in my journals, I wrote where I'm like sad, or like, will anyone ever love me again? All the stuff that you go through.
Yes.
I weave that emotional part throughout the action stuff.
Right. I love it. To leave and know that instead of moping around and feeling sad, you're like, why not carpe diem and go see the world with your friend? Well, new acquaintance / friend.
Yeah. Well, I started getting a lot of people saying, do you hate men? You're not dating. I'm like, it's only been a month, 2 months. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
It's a small town, and everybody wanted to just fix me up. And I was like, I am not ready to go get fixed up. And then I got the money, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Buy a condo and get a cat?
Right.
Live alone?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do that. And I was working at a fitness center, like just teaching aerobics and stuff. So it wasn't like a career.
Right.
I mean, like a big one. I just wanted to get out of town. When I heard that opportunity, I'm like, I don't want to go. I was running away. I call it I was escaping, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay to escape. I mean, that sounds like in a situation someone needed to escape from. The more we talk about the self-publishing, whether it all ends up being self-published, I feel like this book seems that's your jump at the chance thing of like jump at the chance to work on that. And if you have the ability to put time into that, and also I know you want to bring in more clients in other ways too, but back to this thing of brainstorming with Beth, maybe, or with someone else. What are some things I could do to look at this in a new way?
Yeah. Because I don't look at the book as like making money from it. I mean, if it does, it does, but that's not the motivation behind it.
Right.
And like I said, if I met with a writing coach or somebody and they said, oh no, you need to write the whole thing, we're talking a long time.
Yeah.
My first book writing, I did have a writer that I followed. I sent her some stuff and she did say it was really good and that I'm really good at all the details and stuff. I was so happy that you read what I sent you.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
Yeah, it was encouraging for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And the details, I mean, when you're reading, that's what makes it come alive. So I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if you ever like to do any local, I don't know how big of the town you live in now, but there could be a writer's community there who on days where I have a novel that I've finished and then a new one I've started. But on days when I hit my slump, I would go every other Sunday. There was a local writers group. We'd meet in the coffee shop and maybe we talk for 5 minutes and then everybody gets to work on their novel. We were novel writers. I know yours is more memoir, but a lot of the writers I know, it seems like once they have that writing routine or the ritual, or, I know I write every Sunday from 2 to 4 or whatever it is, that really helps the pages to start accruing. And then you have that excitement too, and the confidence, because it sounds like this writer likes what you have. You have all the journals to draw from. Beth has given you her encouragement to write it like you remember it. So yeah. I was on a good schedule. And then, like I said, I didn't finish Australia because I was worried about Beth, and I know she wants to read New Zealand because that's when we were together. She wasn't with me in Australia. She didn't know about she goes, I never know you got lost in the outback. I'm like, oh, I did. and then I dated a guy named John that was an Aussie guy. So I didn't finish it. I finished a certain part where I left it with a question as far as what I did next. But then I decided, okay, I'm going to go from when Beth and I met in Hawaii and flew to Hawaii together. And I did like 1 page of Hawaii because Hawaii was boring. It was just a big city and we were just getting started. And we both were like, let's go to New Zealand. Let's get out of here. Like, oh,
okay.
That's so funny. I love it.
So I want to write New Zealand while she's still healthy enough to read it.
Yes. And that sounds really
like I said,
fun.
that puts a lot of pressure on myself is what it is.
And how do you like having pressure on yourself?
Not when I'm writing. I like, because my creative juices go out the window when I pressure myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was telling my husband about Morocco, and I was just reeling it off my, and he goes, "Wow, oh my God, you need to write that one." I'm like, "I know, it's on the list."
Yeah. Well, could you tell your husband a little bit about New Zealand to get the ball rolling? Maybe?
Well, I did, and I'm like, there was times when, I thought she was being inappropriate. There's times where I thought she was, selfish. There was times when there was a lot of like, I didn't like her a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And I just met her, didn't know her well enough. And my brother will say the same things about like some of her idiosyncrasies. Like she can't read a room.
Oh yeah.
Like, she doesn't know when like to shut up. She doesn't, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there was all that. It was like me learning about her, which is, I guess, maybe a good approach now that I say it out loud, is me learning about her. But she did do some great things for me.
Well, and I can also picture when Beth gets New Zealand, she's going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I don't remember doing that." Or I did this and she thought that. That's so crazy. Like I think some of it is going to make her laugh at herself too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like what you said just now too, of you were getting to know her. And I could even picture, I don't know if there's an entry in your journal like this or a moment where you're like, what did I agree to do? And now I'm not really stuck with this person, but like we're doing this and I don't even know who this is.
Right. Yeah. No, there's definitely, I have that kind of experience at the beginning, like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Yeah. And I mean, as a reader, that would just draw me in because that just sounds so hilarious and relatable too. So yeah, I love it.
And
So we're at time. I have a few more minutes. You want me to tune in and see if I have any final messages?
Sure.
Okay. The first thing I'm getting from your guides, the loved ones that are sending all of this encouragement, is that they think you're such a brave being, a brave person who has done such beautiful things with your life, and that you're going to continue to do good things. Almost this feeling of, in some ways, maybe you're just getting started, because there is so much juiciness that you have to offer the world still. And this sense that be prepared for some of your new ideas that come to surprise and delight you, and that who knows, like it's okay to give the phrase I'm coming up with is to give into something that feels like, oh, this is pleasurable, writing the book, let's say. I don't know, if it's going to be financially feasible or whatever, but there's just this encouragement to like go deep into these passion projects or give it your all, and know that that is feeding other areas of your life, even if it's not being, a financial resource right now, because the way that energizes you and lights you up, and maybe some of these other new things that you haven't discovered yet, but that are the ideas just waiting on the periphery of like, oh, here's a fun thing you could do, or how about this other thing? I mean, like like on this trip you mentioned, a writer who goes on the trip to be like a trip, whatever, documentarian, historian as you go. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, some of these new ideas could be things that seem like totally tangential, but equally delightful, and things that really make you excited about, whoa, look at what I get to do in my cool life.
I wouldn't mind being a travel blogger.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. But I think that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
like, oh, traveling.
true.
Yeah.
But you also have the sales and the business part of it that not everyone else has. And I just want to reinforce, like when you said you have a good closing rate and referrals and all this, not everybody has that. Most people probably don't have that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are fearful of sales and the process and asking for money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
If I believe in the product, then I have no problem. If I didn't believe in the product, then I wouldn't sell it.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, so, you have, who knows how that skill could come into play in a new way in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Well, any other questions you have or feedback you want to give or things that you want to share about?
No, I think you gave me some things to think about and I feel a little renewed as far as writing again. I feel like I'm going to go write when we get off. So that's good. I'm happy about that. And then, no, I think it was good. I feel like I've got some soul searching to do, as well as be open to something new that I haven't even thought about.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, so good. Well, and who knows? Sometimes ideas come 3 weeks from today, or, when you're least expecting it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I'll have to just think about like what direction I want to go in. But with that business in a box, I think it's going to give me the structure that I need.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll still be open to other things.
Yeah, totally. That's great.
Yeah. So, well, I'm so appreciative of this. Thank you.
Yes. Barbara, this has been such a pleasure to get to know you and be supportive of you. We'll stay connected, and I'm excited about your book.
Thanks.